Welcome to the Take Action Now Summit. You will discover groundbreaking strategies for personal and business growth with leading experts and innovators. Today, transform forward. Step into 2024 with confidence. Strengthen your network, build relationships, and develop awareness and skills. Join our 21 world-class speakers and experience inspiration, hope for your future, and an elevation of your ambitions. Inspired Choices Network, our summit hosts, are excited to have you here.
The average person makes 6 excuses per day. Now, according to my calculations, that is over 2,000 excuses per year. I see that as 2,000 missed opportunities in your life, in your business, in your health, and most importantly, in your bank account. You see, we tell ourselves that we don't have time to do certain things, and we're missing these opportunities. My name is Dr. Linda Jordon, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to eliminate fears from 2024. You see, I worked in corporate America for 27 and a half years, and my goal was to retire at 30 years and live this life of luxury. Basically what I thought was you go to college, you get a job, you work 30 years, and when you retire. But as it turned out for me, as I tell people, I was blessed with breast cancer. And so at that particular moment, I had to make changes. I had to pivot. And I had to come up with a different strategy because that 30-year career or that retirement at 30 was not going to happen for me. And so at that time, I had a lot of fear around what's going to happen, what's my life's going to look like. And so I took some time to really think about my next steps, what my future was going to be after breast cancer, because yes, I was crushing that, and I did. I am a 9-year survivor. As of February the 12th of this year, will be 9 years. So I had to understand what my fears were, and I had to acknowledge them. But most importantly, I had to eliminate, relinquish them, and let go of them. And so today I'm going to talk to you about some strategies that you can take. And I have 5 steps that I created that I utilize to help me eliminate my fears, remove those doubts, crush those obstacles that were in my way so that I can illuminate my potential and live my best life. So I'm going to take some time today to talk to you about that. So get your favorite beverage that you want to drink, or if you need a little snack, and make sure you have a pen and paper so that you can take some good notes. Because at the end of this time with me, I want you to be able to take at least one action and move it forward so that you no longer have these fears and doubts, and you can make 2024 your best year yet ever to come. So I hope you're ready. Let's get strapped in. Let's get going. So in the beginning, I started out with how we all make excuses. But think about it. Yeah, we all make excuses. Heck, this morning, I was hitting that snooze button because I didn't feel like getting up at 6 o'clock. So we all do it. Think about it. How many excuses have you made today? How many excuses have you made today so far? How many excuses did you make yesterday? I want you to think about that so that you don't have excuses tomorrow. We all do it. We decide that I don't feel like doing that right now. I'll do it later. And what happens is that oftentimes later never comes. Or if you're like me, I write it on a list, because if I don't do it now, I have to write it down so I don't forget. Some people don't write it down and then they forget. And then maybe it's next week, next month, the next year. And they're like, oh my goodness, I needed to do X. So what I want you to do is to really think differently about moving forward. And we'll get into all the details and the special sauce that's coming up. But what I want to really focus on right now is those common excuses that we tell ourselves. So this morning, did you tell yourself you didn't have enough time? Sometimes we may say, well, I don't have enough money. And then the third common reason we tell ourselves we're not doing anything is that we don't know how, and I've added, we don't know who. So when you focus on you don't have enough time, we all have 24 hours in a day. It's what you choose to do with it. For me, I'm a person that I have to have everything on my cell phone, on my calendar. And if it's not there, it doesn't happen. So for you, I would suggest creating a list or putting it on your calendar, whatever's going to work for you, so that you don't miss any opportunities. Schedule it. So so that you can no longer say, well, I don't have enough time to get things done. The second one is you don't have enough money. Now, we all are always, people are always searching for money. But don't let that excuse of you don't have enough money to either start your business or you don't have enough money to go, sign up for a gym to work out, or you don't have enough money to, invest in a business. There are other ways to do it. So don't allow that to be an excuse. The third excuse that we tell ourselves is that we don't know how to do something or we don't know who to connect with. So when you don't know how to do something, ask someone. And that's part of networking. As you begin to connect with other people, other like minded individuals, then you'll start to know how and you'll start to know who. So I'll tell you a story. When I was in corporate America, I wanted to learn about real estate because I'm thinking about what am I going to do when I retire? So I was trying to have my plan A, B, and C, um, just in case something were to happen. And of course, as you heard earlier, something did happen. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. But because I had started thinking about what I wanted to do later on, I started planting seeds for myself around real estate. Now, yes, I was scared like nobody's business. I knew nothing about it other than buying my first home. I didn't know anything about investing. I didn't know how much it cost. I didn't know who I needed to connect with. I didn't know all the nuances about the knowledge and the terminology. I didn't know anything about creating a credibility packet for myself, starting my own business. There's so much I did not know. But what I did know is that I needed to ask someone. And so a friend said to me, Linda, if you want to learn something, why don't you connect? Well, learn specifically about real estate. Why don't you connect with this individual? And so I did. And from that moment, I started to learn so much more about the real estate investing business. I learned so much that I bought the property next door to me. Now I still have that property today, but I learned so much in that process. And most importantly, I learned more about me. I had so many fears. I had so many doubts. I was thinking, number one, who's going to give me money to buy a investment property? Who's going to listen to me to think that I know what I'm talking about? And then thirdly, what am I going to do? I mean, I don't even understand what I'm supposed to be doing other than, you get to the closing table and you sign and you maybe get a check. So I had to get over my own fears, my own doubts, and stop making excuses for not wanting to learn more about real estate, which takes me into the next section around because we make excuses, it's because we have fear. Fear is the greatest enemy of all that we do. My fear was fear of failure. I wanted to be successful in having a business. I was doing really good in my corporate job, but I wanted to be successful in having a business, and I really wasn't sure what I needed to do. And so fear of success, fear of failure both go together. So I didn't want to let myself down. I didn't want to let my family down. So that fear of failure gets in the way of us when we're trying to move forward. Even if it's, in January, we all say, we're going to eat healthier, we're going to lose X amount of weight. I said it again this year. I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. But that fear of failure. So set small goals for yourself so that you will be successful and not have to worry about that fear of failure. And so the next thing is the fear of rejection. No one wants to be rejected. We all want to be accepted. And so for me, when I was in the real estate business, and I still am, but when I first started, I wasn't sure if people were going to take me serious because I'm a newbie trying to learn about the business, not knowing a whole lot. So that fear of rejection was kind of holding me back a little bit. So you may be in a situation similar. If you're trying to do something differently and you have this fear of rejection or fear of failure, acknowledge it most importantly, but don't allow that to hold you back. And then, most importantly, well, not most importantly, but that third fear that we all tell ourselves is that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Let that sink in for a moment. So I am the middle child of 8. I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters. And so for me, I struggled a lot. I wasn't the tallest. I wasn't the oldest, wasn't the youngest. I wasn't the skinniest. I would say for me, I didn't think I was the smartest. And so I harbored that I'm not good enough feeling when I was younger. I took it with me into college. I took it into the business world until that day of December the 4th, 2014, when I got the cancer diagnosis. And I ripped that Band-Aid off and said, I'm going to live my best life and do whatever it is I need to do. So I let go of those fears because I felt that if I continued to allow that to happen, I wouldn't get to that next stage of where I wanted to be in my entrepreneurial journey. So I had to let go of those fears. So if you're facing fear of doubt, fear of rejection, you're not good enough, fear of failure, let that go just for a nanosecond and see how it feels, because it does have a really good feeling. It may be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it can be very hard and challenging, because if you've felt that way for so long, someone telling you just to let it go, it's not that simple. So you have to take baby steps. And that's why my 5-step formula is going to help you today. Remove those fears, remove those doubts, and stop making excuses for not being your best, doing your best, and living your best life. So we're going to get into that 5-step formula to overcome some of these mental blocks that you may have dealt with, or maybe you're still dealing with it right now. We're going to rip that Band-Aid off, start fresh. It's February 1st of 2024. How do we change our lives so that we can live our best life? And we're going to do that today. So get your pen and some paper. Take some notes, because I don't want you to miss anything. Step number 1, in order to be successful, in order to eliminate some of the fears and doubt, you have to have the right mindset. Some of you may need to change your mindset. For me, I had to change my mindset from a corporate mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset. Now, it doesn't happen in one day, but I had to make that change. And in order to do that, you really have to have a positive mindset, thinking a little bit differently. And the old phrase of how do you turn lemons into lemonade? Well, it does exist. And you too can do that. But it's going to take small baby steps. But you can be successful doing it. So having the right mindset. Step number 2 is to set goals for yourself. First of year comes around, we all set goals for ourselves. Now we create them, we maybe write them down, put them in a book, or you create a vision board. But do you actually live and breathe those goals every single day? So for me, I'll show you, I have my goals. And well, I won't show you, but I have my goals and I post them on my refrigerator, or I have them at my desk someplace so that I can see them every single day. Having a visual is so very important, because when it's out of sight, it truly is out of mind. So have your goals set so that you can see them, live them, and breathe them. But I will encourage you to only create 3 simple goals. Don't create this long list, because we all know that sometimes things fall off. So start with 3. Once you are able to obtain those 3, then you can add a couple more. So set yourself up for success in the beginning. And then determine what is it that you need to do differently in order to achieve these goals. And trust me, you will be successful. Step number 3 is to be disciplined. Be committed to whatever it is that you are doing. So go in 110%. Step number 4 is stimulating your mindset. So you want to be able to go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. What do I mean by that? When you're used to doing things the same way you've always done it, you're going to get those same results that you've always gotten before. When you're ready to shift and remove those excuses, eliminate those fears, you want to get into what's called a growth mindset. You want to start networking with individuals that will help you along the way. You want to invest in yourself, getting to that learning zone. Yes, I said invest in yourself, because oftentimes that's the step that we miss. We don't value ourselves enough to invest in ourselves so that we can learn more and learn from others. So take the time to do that. Invest in yourself. And once you invest in yourself, you're ready to flourish and you get into what I call that growth zone. Yes, get into that growth zone so that you can get things done. So I want to take you from a comfort zone to a growth zone. Comfort zone to growth zone. And then step number 5 is really about creating the blueprint plan for yourself. I call it, what's my GPA for success? What is your GPA for success? For me, mine is very simple. It's called BET, and it's bet on yourself. Number 1, believe in yourself. You can do it like nobody's business. Believe in yourself. E is for excitement. Get excited about doing something new. Get excited about those fears you have let go of. Get excited about those excuses that you have removed. Get excited. And once you become excited about it, then you're going to go to the letter T of BET, and that is to take action. Make things happen. Yes, I said make things happen. Take action. I mentioned before, you have a cell phone. So you can have once a week, every Friday, you're going to keep up with the goals and objectives that you've met or the tasks that you've done, whatever it is for you, but keep a rolling list of the actions that you're going to take. Because you can have a plan, but you can have actions. But if those actions don't meet up with your plan, then you just have, mixed vegetable soup. We want to make sure that you create a plan and you follow those actions to make that plan come alive. Yes, it's maybe easier said than done, but if you stick to it, again, being disciplined, being consistent, it will happen. So those are the 3 steps. BET, bet on yourself, get excited about it, and then most importantly, take action. See, I'm a country girl, and being raised on a farm, I didn't think that, once I got into college, I figured I'd just, get a job. And like I said, earlier, work for 30 years and retire. Who knew I would get a curveball, a positive curveball that led me into the entrepreneurial business? Who knew? Who knew that I could be successful doing it? Because I was scared to death. But I had to have faith in myself. I had to believe in myself. I had to invest in myself. And I had to learn more about what it is that I wanted to learn about. And at that time, it was real estate investing. I've learned more about coaching. I've learned more about training because I've invested in myself to, just take myself to the next level. So if me as a country girl can do it, you can do it too. So let go of those fears. What I want you to do now is to get a piece of paper. I said earlier, have your pen and paper ready. So I want you to get a piece of paper. I want you to answer 3 questions that I'm going to ask you. And you're probably saying why, but these are 3 important questions. Number 1, and if you have your pen and paper, let's get started. So question number 1, I want you to think about this and write it down. How is my life right now? How is your life right now? Are you happy with the way things are? Are things going the way that you want it to go? Are you where you need to be in life from a business perspective, personal development, financially, health-wise, all those things? Are you where you need to be? So answer that question. How is your life right now? Question number 2. How do you want your life to be? Think about that. How do you want your life to be? For me, I had to think about when I had that cancer diagnosis. My daughter was still in high school. Yeah, she had just finished high school. So I had to think about how I wanted my life to be. My retirement plan had just changed. Was I just going to sit home and do nothing? Focus on cancer and not focus on how do I help others? How do I give back to my community? So how is your life right now? If you're okay with the way things are, that's great. I applaud you. But if they're not, how is it right now? And where is it you want to go to? And then the third most important question, and this one people struggle with. What am I willing to give up to get there? Yes, I asked it. What are you willing to give up to get there? It's a tough question. Is it friends that you connect with that don't believe in your journey, don't believe in what you want to do in life, your beliefs? Is it family that's always telling you, you need to stay at that 9 to 5, you can't start a business, or don't do this because it's going to cost too much money? Or you've tried that diet, it's not going to work. Why do you keep doing that? Are you hearing those negative Nancy's on your shoulder telling you that you can't be successful in whatever goals or dreams that you have for yourself? If someone's telling you that, I want you to write it down. Write it on your piece of paper. Because you now have to think about, what are you willing to give up to get to that point? What are you willing to give up? For me, in some aspects of my journey, I did have to not give up completely. And that's not what I'm saying. Don't give up friends and family completely. But what I had to do was to remove myself for a short period until I could get to where I wanted to be. You see, when I started real estate investing, my family said, "You're crazy. You're going to lose your shirt. Why are you doing that? Nobody's going to make money." Because I asked them to, join me in the reins of investment so that we could, form this large business. And they were like, "Not going to happen." So I had to remove myself. And when I say that, I meant I stopped sharing stories about what I was doing in real estate. I stopped sharing ideas and thoughts about real estate with my family because they weren't there yet. And that's not a bad thing, because sometimes people are not where you are and not where you want to go. So you have to separate yourself in different aspects so that you can get to where you need to be. So I had to do that. Yes, it was a little painful because I had some great stories I wanted to share at times, but I chose not to because I didn't want to have those discussions around, oh, it's not going to work. So that's why I say, what are you willing to give up to get there? And so by not sharing my stories, it was successful for me because I was plowing forward. And based on where I am today, my family's like, "Oh my gosh, real estate. Can we get in?" And I'm thinking, well, that would be nice, but I'm not doing that right now. So it's okay to say not right now for friends and family or whomever, acquaintances that you may need to remove or separate for a moment in your life so that you can focus on your goals and objectives of where you want to be. Because remember, you're removing those fears, you're getting rid of those excuses, and you're following these 5 simple steps that I've given you. So make sure that you follow these 5 simple steps. Make sure that you answer these 3 questions, and I'll read them again in case you forgot to write them down. How is my life right now? How do I want my life to be? And what am I willing to give up to get there? Answer those questions and you will be successful. Follow my 5-step formula and you will be successful. I'm a living proof of that. So I invite you to follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, but also I have a free gift. So follow me, connect with me, get your 5-step formula. And also I have a mastermind coming up of putting your dreams to the test, because I want you to be able to eliminate your potential so that you can live your best life. Thank you.
Thank you for joining this inspirational talk on the Take Action Now Summit. Inspired Choices Network and our expert speakers are excited to connect with you and learn about your desires to evolve and grow in 2024. If you'd like to learn more about everything Inspired Choices Network offers, including future summits, please email us at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.